Hello friends, welcome to Swapnil's IS. Today's video is a bit different and special one too because in this video we will be getting more familiar with one of our security forces, a force which comes to scene when the law and order situation gets beyond the control of state police forces, a force which specializes in anti-riot tasks, a formidable tool for anti-Naxal operations, and a force which deserves the reputation as the backbone of India's internal security. Yes, we are talking about the Central Reserve Police Force CRPF. Let's know more about it. The British government, then ruling India, founded the Crown's Representative Police CRP on 27 July 1939. The main motives of the British government behind this was to have a loyal and reliable force at its disposal to deal with the turbulent situations arising out of the possibility of World War II. Another one was to ensure the security of British officials and citizens in India during those insecure times. However, post the independence of the country, the Indian government decided to retain the force. In 1949, the CRPF Act was passed by the Parliament, which renamed the force as the Central Reserve Police Force. After its founding, the CRPF was entrusted with many vital national duties, including the guarding of country's borders at many places. On 21st October 1959, a small patrolling party of the force was ambushed by heavily numbered Chinese soldiers in the hot spring area of Ladakh. 11 CRPF personnel achieved martyrdom in the attack and 10 others were captured by the Chinese. To honor the sacrifices of those brave hearts, 21st October each year is observed as the National Police Commemoration Day. Again, during the 1965 Indo-Pakistan War, the force scripted history for itself. The Sardar post along the India-Pakistan border in Gujarat was manned by the CRPF. On the night of 8th April 1965, a Pakistani Army's brigade comprising of around 3,500 personnel attacked the Sardar and Tak posts with the aim of capturing them. But the brave CRPF men, who were hardly 500 in strength, not only defended the posts but also repulsed the Pakistani brigade. 9th April each year is celebrated as the Valor Day by the force. The saga of bravery and commitment does not end here. On 13th December 2001, the CRPF personnel, along with the personnel of Delhi police, foiled the attack of Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists on the Indian Parliament. However, the force lost one lady constable named Kamlesh Kumari. In 2011, the 207 Cobra and general duty personnel of the CRPF killed the most wanted and high-ranked leader of the Naxals named Kishanji in West Bengal. The force main powerhouse is the Directorate, which is in New Delhi. The force is headed by Director General DG, who comes from Indian Police Service. Then there are four regional zones: the Central, J&K, Northeastern and Southern. Each zone is headed by a SDG ranked officer who also comes from IPS. Each zone is further divided into sectors. A sector is headed by an Inspector General ranked officer. Below the sector comes the range, which is headed by an officer of the rank of Deputy Inspector General or DIG. A range comprises of 4 to 5 battalions or units, each of which is commanded by a commandant. Every battalion in CRPF and most other CAPFs has 7 companies. Now for those who are preparing for the Central Armed Police Forces CAPF examination, an assistant commandant is entrusted with the responsibility to command a company which has a sanctioned strength of 135 personnel. The CRPF, because of its myriad nature of duties and responsibilities, has formed several specialized units such as the Commando Battalion for Resolute Action or COBRA, which specializes in jungle warfare. The Rapid Action Force RAF, having specialization in riot control. The VIP Security Wing, which provides security to VIPs. Presently, it provides security to many prominent personalities, including the Home Minister of India. The Parliamentary Duty Group PDG, which provides security to the Parliament complex. The Special Duty Group SDG, which ensures security of the outer periphery of the Prime Minister's residence and office. The first major issue before the CRPF is that it is entrusted to deal with the security challenges of virtually all sorts: anti-terrorism, counter-insurgency, etc. This has hindered the specialization of the force in a particular domain. As a consequence of this, the force has suffered several major setbacks, such as on 6th April 2010, 75 CRPF personnel were ambushed and killed by the Naxals in the Dantewada district of Chhattisgarh. In 2019, a Fidain of terrorist group Jaish-e-Mohammed blew a bus in the convoy of the CRPF, killing around 40 of its personnel. The second major issue faced by the CRPF is the lack of infrastructure and amenities in the operational areas. When the CRPF is deployed in operational areas to assist the state's administration, it is the responsibility of the administration to provide necessary infrastructure and amenities to it. But many a times the states are hesitant in providing them. It is jokingly said in government circles that the CRPF only needs movement order to undertake new assignment. The tragedy lies in the fact that no one cares to provide it anything more. The third issue, which has been hampering the force both structurally and functionally, is an almost stagnant career progression. There is stagnation at all ranks, but the issue is more severe at lower ranks. At present, an assistant commandant may have to wait for more than a decade to get his first promotion. This has also been a reason for high attrition in the force. The prolonged stay away from the family and limited opportunities for socializing have been the prominent reasons for rising anxiety and stress among the force personnel. This has at times erupted violently through incidences such as suicides and fratricides. The Standing Committee on Home Affairs of the Parliament had in 2018 provided several recommendations to the government about the CRPF. The prominent among them was providing proper training and relaxation to the CRPF personnel. It had also recommended setting up of a dedicated research and development cell of the CRPF. The cadre review must also be carried out soon so as to overcome the issues of stagnation and grim career prospects. The government must also ensure that the force personnel must not be obligated to go to court for all their pay and career related matters. Many cadre officers, in their disappointment, call the force as the court run police force. In recent past, there was a proposal of granting 100 days of leave to force personnel deployed in operational areas. It needs to be finalized and implemented for the betterment of personnel and their families. Lastly, an effective intelligence sharing mechanism needs to be established between intelligence agencies such as IB and SIB, the state police, and the CRPF. CRPF, since its coming to existence, has won many recognitions and accolades. It is in true sense the main pillar of India's internal security. But with changing times and evolving doctrines of warfare, it needs to update and upgrade itself. The government too must seriously consider and address its issues and concerns. We must remember that the former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh had called Naxalism as the biggest challenge to country's security, and it is the CRPF which is primarily dealing with it. Making CRPF and other CAPFs robust and strong will not only ensure our national security and sovereignty but also help secure national interests. Friends, here we conclude this video. Hope that you liked it and found it useful. If you want to make any contributions towards the families of the martyred CAPF personnel, then do visit the website bharatkevir.gov.in. Also, convey us your feedbacks through the comments and like the video, subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Jai Hind.